Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to my Confederate Let's Play series of Civil War General. Oh my goodness. Ultimate General Civil War. I was thinking of the old 1997 game I've been playing a lot of lately, Civil War General 2, but this game is not that. This game is Ultimate General Civil War. It's a new game out by Game Labs. It is the sequel to Ultimate General Gettysburg, although it is a very different game. Even the battlefield tactics that work, well, the tactics still work the same roughly, but even the battlefield experience is very different with additions of things like supply wagons and the ability to kind of attach yourself to buildings and defensive objects. It's a very different game and much enhanced in my opinion. The game is currently in early access. It is on Steam, so you can check it out, or you can wait for the production version to come. Not sure when that will be coming, but the game is in early access. It includes, I want to say, 4 or 5 main historical battles: Gaines Mill, Malvern Hill, Antietam, First and Second Bull Run. Trying to think of what else. That may be it. But nonetheless, and Shiloh. And the game will be adding a whole bunch more when it comes out in the full version. I don't know if they'll trickle them out or if it'll be like a, now we're live and here's a whole bunch of real, other battles. But they'll be adding things like, Chancellorsville, Gettysburg, Chickamauga, Stones River. So quite a few more additional battles, in addition to some side battles. So you can see here the Potomac Fort is a side battle, Battle of Newport News, Ambush a Convoy, Stay Alert, First Winchester, Cross Keys, Port Republic. These are all, I'm using quotes that no one can see here. These are all sort of, they're not hypotheticals, they're based on real battles, but they in no way resemble the historical battles, whereas the grand battles like Gaines Mill, Shiloh, and Bull Run attempt to model the battles accurately. You can see here our commander is Turner Hill Garnett, and we have a reputation of 38, which basically what that means is every time you win a battle or lose a battle, you gain or lose prestige. And depending on how you do, that prestige goes up and down. If the prestige ever gets to 0, you are fired as a general. If we take a look up here, you can see our fame is growing and the soldiers will fight for you with increased morale. There's no morale effect, but before our last victory, we actually had a pretty big morale penalty because our reputation was much lower. This reputation of 38 might seem high, but we're about to fight the Battle of Malvern Hill, and if we lose it, we will lose 20 prestige. And spoiler alert, guys, we're probably going to lose it. This is going to be a very difficult battle, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure how hard I want to press because I don't want to wreck my army attacking a suicidal, heavily defended federal position because we'll only get $86,000, and if we lose, that's going to be hardly enough to replenish our losses if we lose heavily. We'll get more into that in a minute. You can see here we get career points in between battles. When we win, we earn career points, and we've got different features like politics, which gives us more money, economy, which gives us more money, politics gives us more troops, medicine heals our killed or wounded troops, training, army organization, influences the size of the army, training influences how well it fights, logistics has to do with supply, and reconnaissance has to do with the intelligence you get going in. You can see here so far our record as a general is what, 8-2, so not bad. We did lose the major battle of Shiloh, which is a big hit to our reputation. If we had won that, we'd be 50 plus and in great shape. The last battle we fought was Gaines Mill. The very next one is Malvern Hill, another one of these 7 days battles, although they consider this its own campaign. There were no battles between Gaines Mill and Malvern Hill. We'll see shortly after Malvern Hill. Maybe there's some additional side battles, but this is another one of those grand engagements where you can bring your whole corps to bear. Now going back here, we can see we have some generals. We've got Lieutenant Colonel Pratt was wounded, so he's currently out of action for now. We've got one other colonel in reserve, and we can spend money to buy, better generals. As it is right now, we don't have any money because at the end of the last video, we actually reformed and refit our units. So you can see here the Stonewall Brigade and all of our 1st Division is at full strength at 2,000 men. We had to sacrifice some of our experience and effectiveness because we couldn't replace everybody at veteran level. We had to use rookie, which is cheaper. You can pay more money and get veteran replacements, but again, obviously they cost more money, and you only get a certain amount of money in between battles. We also have the 2nd Division at full strength, another 2,000 men, and the 3rd Division is mostly at full strength. These guns can max out at 24 weapons, but, as it is, we have them at 18, 20, and 18 just for financial reasons. It's very difficult to field a full battery, at least as the Confederates. We've got a small cavalry unit here, 330 men. And then we've got a second corps, so the fledgling pieces of a second corps of the army, another 2,000 men. I'd like to have a bigger second corps, but right now we just haven't had enough victories to be able to build our forces up. With that being said, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to take this cavalry and put it into our 1st Division of the 2nd Corps, and then I'm going to go ahead and recruit another artillery battery, because I believe artillery is important. So I said we have no money, right? But we do have reputation, and reputation is kind of political capital. It can be used to get more stuff. You know, you want stuff, and it can be used to get more stuff. Actually, first let's take a look here. You need a minimum of 4 guns, right? Okay, so you need at least 4 guns to form a battery. We have 2 10-pound parrots that we seized from the Federals in the last war, so we've got battle, so we've got 2 guns in our armory, but we don't have enough to form a battery. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of our political capital. We've got 38 reputation. You can spend up to 18 of that. You can't spend all of your reputation. You have to have a minimum of 20. After that point, people are like, you know, we like you enough to have you in command, but not enough to give you stuff. So you can see here we can buy different things with our reputation. We can buy some historical generals like Paul Seams or Lafayette McLaws. We actually have some pretty good commanders in positions already. So we've got General Bragg, we've got General Preston, we've got General Irvin Barton, and then our division commanders are much better. We've got Braxton Bragg, Albert Sidney Johnson, and Innes Doles, and then in our second corps is commanded by Thomas Stonewall Jackson, so that's another historical figure there. With that being said, we're going to use some reputation, as I said. So we've got 2 10-pound Parrott guns already in our armory. We've got enough reputation to buy 8 of them. In this one here, so we can use 8 reputation to buy 8 more. That still leaves us with 30 reputation, so if we do lose the battle, we'll still have 10 left over, which we probably will lose the battle, but now we have 10 Parrott guns in our armory. So if we go here, we go to the artillery battery, and we go to 10-pound Parrotts, we can go and apply this. No weapons cost, there's no personnel cost because we're recruiting from a rookie, they're rookie troopers. They're not veterans, so they're free. 250 men. We've got 21,000 men in our manpower pool, so we can go ahead and create this battery of 10 guns. And immediately it starts with a perk, so we've already got a commander picked. If we didn't have this guy in reserve, we would have had to draw from the academy, which would have cost us money. But because we had one general in reserve, we could create this unit free of charge, and then we can go ahead and create, it also has some bonuses to start, it looks like. So, I think for the case of... we'll go with this. Okay. I generally go with discipline across the board. So those 10 extra artillery pieces now give us a grand total of, what is it? I can't do math. 66 artillery pieces now that we can bring to bear against the enemy in the next battle. One other thing worth calling out is supply. Your units use supply, and you've got a supply wagon that goes around. We've got 12,500 supply in our first corps, 9,500 in our second. Each corps gets its own supply wagon. I'm thinking that'll be sufficient here. And I think that's all there really is to say. We do have some guns in reserve. We could go and sell some of these to get a little bit of extra money, but then if we needed to replace, if we had casualties in our units that have these weapons, then we'd have to go back and buy them for an even higher price. The sell price isn't the same as the purchase price. So you can see here we can sell the 1855 Springfield for $17. If we were to go and buy new ones, they'd cost us $30. So I'd rather just keep these in the armory, have something in our back pocket should a situation come up. I may sell these Sharps. These are damn expensive guns. Look, $55. So if we wanted to buy the Sharps rifle, I don't even know if we can. Yeah, $95. These sharpshooter rifles are phenomenal. We only have 23 of them, so I mean we could get 1,200, but I don't know what I'm going to do with just $1,200. I could use some of this to recruit a new brigade, I suppose. We could do that. We could outfit them with Springfields. But then we'd need to pay money for a new commander, so we wouldn't be able to do it for free because we don't have any commanders in reserve anymore. Gabriel Pratt is wounded, so we'd have to have at least $300 spare cash. Why don't we do that? What's the There's only 47 available, so at the most we could recruit of this would be about 1,400 troops because we don't even have them available to purchase. That's one of the best things about this game, in my opinion, is the need to equip your forces, because you kind of have to budget yourself based on what the battle is going to be, based on your casualties. But then there's also just natural limitations, which I think is supposed to kind of simulate the whole logistical nightmare of being the Confederacy, where you really don't have access to that many really good weapons. So with that being said, I'm actually not going to spend the money and buy anything. I'm just going to leave these in reserve, and I don't think an extra 1,000 men will make a difference in this battle, frankly. With that all being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into Malvern Hill. So, let's see here. We've got the Battle of Malvern Hill. After the Battle of Gaines's Mill, General McClellan has been convinced that the Peninsula Campaign cannot last any longer. The main camp of the Union Army has been set up at Harrison Landing to prepare for the withdrawal, under the safety of his ironclads. General McClellan organized his last resort defense at Malvern Hill. We gamble and attack the heavily fortified position in an attempt to gain a decisive end to the Union operations near Richmond. So long story short, Union Army advanced up the peninsula. They were defeated at Gaines's Mill and several other battles. They weren't defeated there, but they were attacked at several battles. McClellan kind of lost his nerve. He was defeated at Gaines's Mill. He starts retreating to the landing spot where his guns are. He's not immediately going to retreat, but he's trying to get under the guns of the Navy, and one of his defensive positions during the fallback is on Malvern Hill, which is an incredibly stout defensive line. So he puts his forces in line there, and the Confederates attack. And if you think Pickets' charge is bloody, well, Malvern Hill is kind of the inspiration for a lot of the futile attacks lore of the Civil War. Very much similar to something like Cold Harbor or Pickets' Charge or Fredericksburg. It was an absolute nightmare for the Confederacy. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump in here. You can see we have 2 potential attack waves of a maximum of 20 brigades. So theoretically, we could have 40 brigades on the field with 20 in reserve. That's 60 brigades. We have not that many. We have, 15 brigades here, you can see. So we've got 2 attack waves, and we've got 15 brigades. We're not going to win this battle, guys. I don't have the force set up to do it. I don't know how hard we will press. Half of me wants to just concede the fact that we're going to lose, keep all our troops at full strength, and then use the $86,000 we have to build out our second corps a little bit more and make it a little bit stronger. But I also don't want to deprive you guys of an epic battle that you could watch. So I guess we'll see what happens here. We'll jump in here, and you can see this is the battlefield. You've got the little arrow pointing down, indicating the direction of movement. And again, it's going to give you more of the same briefing. So, after last night's attack, the Federals have fallen back. It takes us down the map and shows us where the Union kind of defensive position is, and shows us another Union defensive. So it shows us the end objective and then the Union defensive positions, and also kind of shows us, well, you could flank this way, but that's why it's not a good idea. You could attack this way, but it's not a good idea. And so the best course of action is, despite the heavily fortified nature of the Federal position here, a frontal assault may be the best way to go. I don't know if that's true. I think it's probably a really bad idea. I don't think I will win. I'm going to see what I can do to maybe try and force a draw, but we will see here. Kind of waiting for this to all go through. So here's the deployment phase. You can see our first corps is on the field there, 12 out of a potential 20 brigades. Oops. So I think what we're going to do... Why can't I drag? Drag and drop. All right, so we're going to put these guys in the open. We're just going to kind of form one long line. This is very much a total war sort of battle deployment screen. I do like, at least here, they give you a little bit more room to deploy your forces, but it's kind of ironic that, yeah, you've got this room and area to choose how you want to deploy, and yet it's a battle that's going to probably be a slaughter, so it doesn't matter that much. We could go this side of the river. Let's see here. I did play through the game once. I know the main Federal line is on this objective position here, at least the initial offensive line. I got slaughtered in my attempt. I played the historical version of it. So I'm tempted to try and flank, even though it said it was a bad idea. Not necessarily down that bridgeway, but maybe like right here. I just don't know if I can cross here. I think this is a ford. And then the idea would be to flank here and then try and outflank this position. Because the secret is these fence lines, the Confederates or the Union can kind of snap to it. It's a defensive fence line. And they've also got barricades here, which will make any frontal attack borderline suicide. And my end objective is not to win. My end objective is to draw this battle. If we can draw this battle, I think we get 1 prestige, or we only lose 1 prestige. So what we have to do is lose less than 55% of our force, and that just tells you how much of a anticipated bloodbath this fight will be. And then hold North Malvern Hill. That's what we have to do to draw. There are West and East Malvern Hill objectives, which are further down the map and will occur later in the battle, but this is the Malvern Hill objective we need to take and seize, and I'm trying to debate, is it a good idea to try and flank from this side of the river, or do we just advance and maybe put the effort in these woods so we can gain some cover, and then flank the enemy from there? I like the idea of kind of maybe advancing frontally up to these woods, driving through these woods on the right. They'll provide some cover for our forces as they advance on the Federals, and maybe we can turn them out of this fence line. But there's a butt ton of Union troops that will appear right along this defensive line. So it's going to be a near-run thing, even just to try and salvage a draw and take 1 objective. I think we probably move our artillery into these woods. It'll provide them some cover, and they'll be pretty close range to the enemy. But we'll see what we do here. Super chat, wrong charge, but same mentality. Very much a picket charge type deal. Yeah, I agree that a flank attack is best. I think I do need to demonstrate to the Federal front, similar to Gaines Mill. So in the last battle, in last night's stream, we fought the Battle of Gaines Mill. Heavily outnumbered, Federal in really strong position. I went with the flank attack, and I was able to bring 5 brigades down in on the Union flank. They didn't refuse their line at all, or at least not effectively. We overran 2 objectives before the computer finally was decided, okay, let's pull our unit off these defensive lines. And it worked pretty well. Let's see here. So I'm not going to put everybody on the right here, but I may stack up a couple of brigades. I'm just trying to decide what makes sense. So maybe we go with the longest range weapon. So that's going to be the Springfields under Stonewall. And then what's the Iron Brigade firing? Those are bad. Okay. And then we'll say the Bragg's Brigade. We're going to put 3 brigades to the right. CS regulars? What do they have? Enfields. So we're going to put 3 brigades on the right. They're going to march down here and kind of on this opposite bank, hopefully engage from here. I'm worried that may expose our flank to enemy artillery fire. We'll see. And then we're going to move the other 5 or so brigades just down the middle. And we're going to kind of hold up around here between the woods here and the woods here so that we've got some cover from where we engage the enemy. So hopefully we don't lose too heavily. The artillery, I wish I had a elevation chart. That's not in the game yet. But I wonder if it makes sense to put the artillery here. It gives them a line into the flank, although it's kind of far out. The other option is deploying in these woods. But a straight-on shot may not be as good. It's going to be difficult to find the flank, though. This to me looks elevated. This looks like a hill. But there's a lot of rough terrain they got to go through to get there, so that may take the better part of the we're just going to send the artillery straight down. So we'll just send the artillery right up the middle. We'll have 3 brigades of reserves coming in on the right side of the map at some point. Okay, I'm trying to get them in as easy a marching position as possible. This is myself and our supplies. All right, let's take a quick look at the chat before we start. I don't know if this is a hill, though. You're saying send them to the hill. It kind of looks like a hill, but it's hard to tell, and I don't have the elevation chart. Looks like a hill to me. And it's going to be really long range to engage from there as opposed to here. So this, you give some elevation and a little bit of an angle. This is more head-on, but you're much closer ranged. Well, let's do this. We're going to send the parrots to the hill. But again, it's going to take forever to get there, so just keep that in mind, guys. We'll send the parrots because they're rifled guns. They do better at long range. And then we'll send 12-pound smoothbores. We'll send the 6-pound field guns. These guys are going to be on the hill. They've got a little bit better long range. We're going to send the howitzers and the Napoleons up the middle, though. Those are better short-range weapons and not so good at long range. So they do really good damage, but they don't do very well at range. And so we'll send these guys up the middle. We'll send the rifled guns on the flank. Yeah, tab doesn't do anything. I mean, it shifts things a little bit, but it doesn't give me the actual elevation map. So, I mean, it looks a little bit like it's... I guess it looks a little bit like a hill, but it's hard. Again, it's so far off. I don't even know if a Napoleon gun here can hit the Federals over there. So again, that's my concern. So that's what we're going to do. I think I'm still playing the original version. I don't think I'm playing anything that's patched yet. Okay, so we're going to just kind of select all these units now that we've started. We're going to move them roughly... Whoa. We'll move them roughly to here. I can just right-click and then drag where I want them to form up. So we'll form up a little bit in the rear. Maybe we do this. So it kind of puts them in the woods, hopefully beyond range of the enemy. And we'll see from there. And I may shift forces as needed. Meanwhile, these guys are all going to go here. And we'll get going. I wish one thing I do wish that the game had was some sort of follow roads command, which the game does not have, and that would be very useful in trying to keep guys moving at speed and efficiently rather than, oh, well, there's a forest here, we're going to walk right through rather than walk to the east and then down the road. I fully anticipate there will be enemy skirmishers out front of us, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach some skirmishers. You can see here we're already under enemy artillery fire. We're actually going to detach skirmishers from everyone. I've never, the game or the computer, I don't know if the computer really does it, but the game does a good job of making sure that the computer utilizes skirmishers. I think it's probably scripted, but help protect some of our main lines from assault as we... Okay, so we spot a one rather large brigade behind this fence line. Two more brigades here. Definitely some artillery to the right. Looks like they're part of Henselman's corps, another brigade here to the left. So these skirmishers may end up in contact. I'm surprised there's no enemy skirmishers that I've seen yet. Okay. So yeah, our skirmishers are in action. Kind of pulling out here. Let's see where you guys are going. This may be too close, actually. No, it looks okay. So the enemy seems more thin. They've only got one brigade in these woods. But I'm going to take my time, frankly, because if I lose, that's fine. As long as I don't lose the whole unit. Or whole army, if you will. These guys actually have some decent cover, so we'll see how they fare. I'd be more worried about artillery. We can always fall back a few meters if we have to. I'm going to advance these guys just a little bit. Put these skirmishers forward too. We can see the fight here is going against us, not dramatically so yet. Just sort of initial skirmishing, if you will. Meanwhile, our artillery pieces are starting to get ready to be in the action. We're going to target these guys over here. these guns over here. Marsh must have short-range weapons. No, they've got Lorenzas. Mississippi just has... I don't know. They're engaged at very long range. Advance and take the center. So it looks like I'm assuming the rest of my forces are coming up. Yep. Rest of our divisions are entering the fray. Now is the time for a full assault, General. Bring your strongest brigades to attack their center. That seems like a bad idea. Yikes. These guns are out in advance. I wonder if I can volley them. Whoa, boy. Losing all sense of cover. I should probably fall back, right? We're definitely in canister range. Okay. Good. They're driving back the enemy. Enemy batteries are falling back. Now we'll fall back as well to get out of range there. That worked. Can we actually... No, we can't cross the river here. Okay. Well, we can't cross the river here, but I am going to try and take out these Federal guns. Yes, please stay in cover. Why are they... I don't want them to actually march over there. They should be within rifle range, right? What are you guys doing? You should be within rifle range. Come on, guys. Use your frickin' brains. This is maybe a bad idea. Yes, this is a very bad idea. Actually, what we should do is detach some skirmishers. Have the skirmishers engage them. Rather than sitting and taking canister fire. And then have these guys fall back. Meanwhile, our reinforcements have arrived. Yeah, that was bad. Let's see here. We can try and cross the river over here. We'll send this other brigade all the way around and see if we can cross the river here at this bridge. Does look like they've got some troops there. Okay, that was dumb. Again, I'm lightly engaged here. Let's see here. Our guns are doing some work. At the end of the day, we've got two brigades engaging this one Federal brigade. No, see, these skirmishers are stupid. That's kind of frustrating, actually. Yes, I get that they're flanked. They shouldn't be taking much in the way of fire. Come on. Stupid skirmishers. How's our artillery doing up here? Okay, so our guns up there are doing what they should be doing. No. I don't want them engaging the infantry. I want them engaging the... See, this is stupid. They're, oh, we can't get to them, so let's run away. hoping... Alright guys, I hate to jump in and end the stream as we're just getting the Battle of Malvern Hill started, but this thing has about another 40 minutes to go, so I don't want to make this an hour 10 plus long video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this live stream that you've been watching, and then we'll go ahead and jump back into the live stream in the next video, and we will see how the Battle of Malvern Hill turns out. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This was just a straight live stream from the start. I didn't do my usual intro because it was the start of a stream. So I thought I kind of did a good job there by myself already. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It'll be interesting to see how Malvern Hill plays out. If you haven't already watched the stream, check in next time to take a look at that. But anyway, guys, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm out.